Hi guys, it's Mrs. Millison. Okay, let's do a quick little video on methods with inheritance, on overriding and overloading, okay? And again, let's see what I have here. I have my pet class, okay? Let me scroll up. I have my pet class that can create a pet based on the type and the name. I have a default constructor. I have an overloaded constructor with parameters, okay, so I can specify the type and name. I have a toString method that will print the name is a type. And then I have a getName method, which I'm going to need when I do something else, okay? So right now, what I'm going to do is when I look at my dog class, which extends pet, all I have are constructors. So when I create a dog, it will use these constructors, okay? They both reference constructors back from the parent class, okay? But you'll notice that the dog does not have a toString method. So if I print a dog, it's going to revert back to the pet class toString, okay? So when I come in here, I created a pet and I created a dog, okay? When I print both of them, it'll just go to the pet toString method because there is no toString method for my dog, okay? My dog class. And indeed it does. Kitty is a cat, Scout is a dog, because if you remember in the last video in our dog class, when we put in the name and the breed, it automatically puts in dog for the type, okay? And then when it uses the toString method, it just has the name and the type, so I don't even see the breed yet, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is override the parent or super class method toString in my child or parent class. My child or subclass, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to override. Okay, so when I override a method, okay, it has the exact same signature line and parameters as the method that I'm overriding. Okay, so it'll always do the one in the child or subclass first, and it'll ignore the one in the parent class. Okay, if it didn't exist in the child or the subclass, it would go to the parent or the superclass. Okay, so now I want to return um, the name and the breed. Okay, so the name, in order for me to get the name, which is back in my pet class, I need to use my getName method. Okay, so I'm going to return, let's see, super getName. Okay, because I don't have access to that name variable in my child or my subclass. Okay, so let's see. Can't remember the dog's name. Scout is a, and then I want breed. Okay, I already know he's a dog. I just want to know the breed. I'd rather know Scout is a poodle than Scout's a dog. Okay, I think I got all my syntax right, huh? Okay, so now when I print my dog, it'll overwrite. It should print Scout is a poodle. Okay, because I have overridden the toString method in the pet superclass with the toString method in the dog subclass. And indeed it did. Scout is a poodle. Okay. So we've seen that before. Okay. But overriding a method, it has to have the same signature line with parameters and everything. Okay. Oops. Okay. So, okay, that's overriding. Now let's do a overload. Let's have a method in our parent class, okay, with a specific name, and then we will create another method in our child or subclass with the same name but different parameters. So now we're going to overload. So we're going to have two methods of the same name, but they're in different parameters. So depending on when I run them, what parameters I put in, the system will know whether to run it from the pet or the dog class. Okay, so we'll start in the pet class. What did I have? Public void. I think it's eat food. So this will have no parameters, and it's just going to print out a little statement here. And we're going to say whatever the animal's name eats. Food. Okay, very simple demonstrations. Okay, so now when I run this eat food method, off of a pet or a dog or any or any subclass, it'll just print out the name eats food. Okay, so let's go and do that in our tester. We'll do pet 1 eats food and dog 1 eats food. Oops. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay, I need to eat, not eats. Sorry, guys. All right. There we go. All right, so it just simply says Kitty eats food and Scout eats food, okay? Because there is no eat food method in my dog class, so it goes to the parent class and it says, okay, I'm just going to do the eat food here. Well, I'm going to overload this. I'm going to overload this in my child class, and I'm going to call it, I have to call it the same thing, void eat food. But now I'm going to put a parameter in it, okay? Because I'm going to make it a little different. It's not going to override the eat food method. I'm going to add another one with a parameter. So I'm going to put the brand of food, okay? So now, again, I want to grab, I didn't put a return type. So again, I want to grab the name using that getter method. Eats, oops, and then brand name. Okay. So now when I run this, if I run eat food and I put a parameter in, it'll run the overloaded method in the dog class. I don't have that overloaded method in the pet class, so it won't work for the pet. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so if I come down here and do dog 1 eat food and put in a parameter, it should print just fine. It should say Scout eats Purina. Okay, as it should. Okay, because the dog object is reading that overloaded method that has a parameter. Okay. Now, remember, there's no overloaded eat food method in the pet class. So if I try to do pet 1 eat food and put in the parameter, I should get an error because that method with that parameter doesn't exist in the pet class. Okay. I only put it in the dog class. All right. To run it from the pet class, I have to use the method that doesn't have a parameter. Okay. So again, that won't work because that specific methods with that specific signature does not exist in the pet class. Okay. So that's overloading. Okay. Again, overloading, same name, different parameters. Okay. So same name, different parameters. Overriding is same name, same parameters. Okay. Entirely identical signature, method signatures. Where is it? Okay. And we've seen this, and we've seen the overriding this toString since the very beginning of inheritance. And we usually always overload our constructors. Okay. We always have multiple constructors in our classes anyway. So yeah, I had 2 here. Okay. All right. I hope that was helpful. Trying to think. I don't think I need to print anything else, right? Okay, good. I will see you guys next time.